Hello and welcome to the vlog. It is a rather overcast, grey, windy, damp, bleh sort of day, but actually it's quite mild. And the Roving Canal Traders Association, for there is one, is holding a floating Christmas market in the middle of Birmingham. That's basically where a load of the trading boats all get together and flog their stuff on the canal side. So I thought I'd go along there, not by boat, that would take me days, but by train and see what it's like. Well, I found the canal, that's a good start. And viewers who saw my cruising videos in my first year will recognise this stretch because directly ahead is Street Basin, and I came out from there up towards where I am now and then took that very sharp right-hand turn under that walkway and headed on out of Birmingham. And look, actual narrowboats. Down there in front of the blue one, as I recall, is that facilities point where I was filling up with water when the wedding party decided to do their photos in front of the Elsan. Odd choice of location, but they were all having fun. You know, considering this is the first Saturday before Christmas, it's remarkably quiet. It's like we've had a zombie apocalypse or something. I thought it would be absolutely heaving. Nothing to do with narrowboats, but there's Birmingham Library. You get a super view from the top there. December is obviously the time to come to Birmingham. These are 2-day visitor moorings and practically deserted bar one boat. First signs of what I'm looking for. Nice of them to signpost it, that'll help. Although, to be honest, follow the canal and you'll find it, I imagine. This is Street Basin, quite famous in canalling circles. And here's a bit of info about the basin. Do press pause if you'd like to read it. That building contains the offices for ITV, the broadcasting company I used to work for, ITV's Birmingham office. And it was here that we were always sent to do our camera training courses. And we'd come across the road, and down here, and practice our newfound camera skills around the canal. Little did I know, that was 8 years ago, that one day I'd actually come through here on the boat. You do get a good view of all the moored boats at Street Basin here. Just an aside, that's my kind of venue. And here is the first of the trading boats. The name, pretty self-explanatory. Take away or eat in, it seems. Now I think of it, I'm not sure that's actually part of the market. It might be a regular fixture. I know it's a sales boat, flogging some housing development. But for goodness sakes, don't they know Birmingham's canals are narrow beam? There is the famous Birmingham Canal roundabout. Again, viewers to my first year's cruising will recall I came out from under that bridge on the right and then went over that way and moored up on the left somewhere, I think. Well, there's one I've not seen before, a cycle boat. A boat selling bicycles. And a fine old boat this is too, with a good roaring stove going. I wish I could bring you the smell of it, it's wonderful. That's more like it. Boats aplenty.
I make them all myself, make them on board. I buy in loads of different types of wire and loads of beads and things like that, and whatever the mood takes me, it depends on what I make.
And how do you actually make them? Is it tweezers and things?
Yes, I've got to use special tools. They're actually tools that were designed to make small railway track. You know, sort of like the 00 gauge, you know, sort of like, but they're really, really tiny, but very strong tools, you know, sort of like different tweezers and different cutters.
You must go all over the place.
Yes, we go all over the country. I mean, this year I've gone as far from Lichfield, I've done Stone, I've gone down to Oxford. Well, up to Birmingham a couple of times. Then we've gone Stratford-upon-Avon, down on the Avon. So yeah, you do a fair amount of miles. But you see lots of places that you wouldn't normally see if you go by road.
Is it feasible to live as a trader, or do you sort of have a secret lottery income somewhere else?
No. I live as a trader. Yeah. I mean, you know, you make the most of the summer months, you know, because it's obviously a lot busier. But I do sell online as well, so you know, that does help sort of boost your income. But no, I think, you know, it's a lifestyle choice when you live on a boat. You're never going to be mega rich, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, I enjoy my life. So, you know.
Now this is a trader I follow on Twitter, and they really do some extraordinary metalwork, which I'll show you.
Some's recycle, some parts we buy new. We use old spanners, engine parts. Some things we buy from scrapyards. Sometimes we'll see something on Gumtree or eBay and think, one day we can use that. And then it's what takes our fancy. Sometimes you see something and you think, oh, you could do a snail out of that. Other things, like when creating the kangaroo, you just think, I want to make a kangaroo, so you just got to go through all the bits and put them together, and sometimes it goes through 4 or 5 different stages where it doesn't look quite right, and you come away from it, go back to it, and eventually you get to where you want to be. But
and are they welded together, or are they glued together? How does it work?
Yep, it's all welded. We do MIG welding and TIG welding. We don't do so much stick because a lot of the things we're doing are quite fine.
What's it like being a canal trader?
I think you do it partly because you enjoy it. We do make a living out of it. I think we don't have another occupation, but we rely a lot on commissions. We wouldn't survive if all we did was open the side of the shop up to the towpath, because especially over winter there isn't enough people about. So we rely on people seeing things, saying, can you make me or for example, we do general fabrication as well.
In terms of the sort of art pieces and the custom ones, what's the biggest, what's the oddest one you've ever done?
So far I think the biggest has got to be a giraffe that we did, which is probably about so tall, so baby giraffe size. And then I think one of the oddest that we've done so far is a lady that came to us in Hemel Hempstead, and her son had moved to Australia, and she wanted something that represented United Kingdom, Australia, Triumph motorbikes and cherry trees all in a sculpture, and you're left thinking, yeah, not quite, we'll have to think about that one. But no, we came up with, I think there's photos of it on our website, of a base of a United Kingdom, and built a cherry tree. It was all out of motorcycle parts with a kookaburra sat on it to represent Australia, and she loved it, and that was shipped out to Australia as well. It was quite expensive to ship as well.
Such a shame, with these lovely boats moored here, that the towpath is so deserted. And yes, it's grey and miserable, but it's not raining, it's quite mild. Ah well, maybe it'll pick up in the afternoon. There may not be that many traders here and even fewer customers, but it is so nice to see the traders are all upbeat and loving what they do. It is getting a little chilly now though, so I'm off for a cup of tea and a pasty.
Thank you.